Welcome to Dani's podcast, where I talk about problems in the world that are happening right now. In this episode, we are going to talk about obesity. You have probably already heard of the topic, but I'm going to tell you more about it. Obesity is a widespread problem in the United States. If you look in stores, streets, schools, restaurants, you're going to find an obese person. Whether it's a child or an adult, it doesn't matter. Obesity can affect anyone. The number of obese people has risen quite dramatically in the last decade. This may be because of the simplicity of the world nowadays. The world has changed quite dramatically in the last decade. Food is easier and cheaper to get thanks to fast food. People don't come to home-cooked meals like they did in the 70s or 60s or what have you. Things are different now. People are paying for it too. Obesity is such a broad topic that I've condensed it into how it affects Americans. I hope you like my podcast. What is obesity? According to the author Lerner, obese people have an excess of stored energy in their bodies, or aka body fat. Obesity is considered mostly as any weight that is at least 20% above a person's ideal weight. What's the amount of obese people in America? According to the author Lerner, according to the American Heart Association, as of 2004, among U.S. citizens aged 20 or older, 136.5 million are obese or overweight. Of that number, 69.6 million are women and 66.9 million are men. Of the total number for overweight and obese people, 64 million are considered obese, with 27.9 million being men and 36.1 million being women. Obese people feel accepted into society? According to the author Lerner, even though it is unacceptable in the world to discriminate against people by their age, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or ethnic group, Americans still judge and discriminate against obese people in the world. Also, according to Lerner, overweight people find it hard to keep and obtain jobs. Almost half of those who are 100 pounds or more overweight are unemployed. For those who do not have jobs, obese workers are often overlooked because they do not present a corporate or professional image. It is common for heavy people to be discriminated against in social situations too, where they are treated as non-persons. Most people think that obesity is the result of slothful living, poor personal eating and exercise habits, and lack of intelligence or self-control. Frequently, heavy patients are discriminated against by their doctors, too, who tell them that these problems could be avoided if they just stopped eating. But it's more than that, and they don't seem to understand. Where else is obesity prevalent? According to the author Lerner, obesity is prevalent in many other countries besides the United States. Like, for instance, countries in Europe, like France, or in the Caribbean islands, China, Japan, Malaysia, the Middle East, and many other countries too. Heredity a factor? According to the author Bray, if both parents are obese, about 80% of their offspring is going to be obese too. If only one parent is obese, the likelihood of obesity in their offspring falls less than to 10%. Studies show that identical twins suggest that their inheritance for about 70% in environmental factors, diet, physical inactivity, or both, accounts for 30% of the variation in body weight. Surgery is that linked with obesity? According to the author Bray, gastric bypass surgery reduces the size of the stomach, but should be reserved with people with a BMI, body mass index, above 40, or when recommended by a physician. According to the author Lerner, only a few drugs have been approved by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, for the treatment of obesity. Studies following individuals who have used these drugs for 2 years have published for other drugs. Some drugs that I cannot say the names of correctly, so I'm not going to say them. When did obesity become such a large problem? According to the author Lerner, according to experts, obesity has reached epidemic proportions in the United States, affecting millions of American citizens. This increase in obesity, also associated illness, is believed to be the result of a modern trend towards elevated daily calorie intake combined with a decrease in physical activity. As many as 2/3 of American adult population reported trying to lose weight or keep weight off. Yet, recent information shows that many Americans do not follow well-established lifestyle guidelines that can accomplish both. Can obesity be linked to disease? According to the author learner, obesity has been linked to diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, infertility, menstrual problems, higher rates of certain types of cancer, gallbladder disease, gallstones, gout, and breathing problems, also called sleeping apnea. What's next for obesity, and what about it now? According to the author learner, as of 2005, 8 out of 10 Americans over age 25 are overweight, and 78% of Americans do not meet basic activity levels that are recommended by federal health agencies. It is predicted that by the year 2025, over 40% of the adult U.S. population will be obese. All in all, obesity is a major epidemic across the world from coast to coast. Millions of people suffer from this, and the number needs to decrease. There are many ways and efforts that are being used right now to stop obesity from spreading, but it fully cannot be controlled. People will always be obese, and that's just life. But we can all help and pitch in to make the millions into thousands, and the thousands into hundreds, and the hundreds into ones. Thank you so much for watching my podcast. I hope you like it, and please stay tuned for next episode where we talk about Doctor Who! Bye!